Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video it is another instalment of Pits and Peaks of the week. So in this video I talk about what went well for the week and what didn't go well for the week, so my pits and peaks for the week. As the weeks go on and with my sort of change in mindset recently, I am having less pits to talk about and more peaks to talk about, which in my opinion is a good thing. It just means that sometimes my videos might be a bit shorter, they might not if I decide to ramble. But yeah, I don't have many pits for this week. We'll get straight into it and discuss the pits first, and then we'll go into the peaks last, just to end on a high. So if I'm looking down, it's because I'm just referring to notes that I scrambled together just before this video. For some reason I seem to forget that it's Sunday and forget that I've got a video to film because I'm filming a bit more recently. So yeah, I had to scramble together my notes for this video and I really need to start jotting it down as they happen. So I'll try and be better on that next week. So my first pit of the week has been my shoulder issue. I mentioned that in my last video, that I'd done something to my neck and my shoulder, and every time I turned my head my neck and shoulder would be really sore. I have struggled with that most of the week until like the last couple of days where it's eased off. I googled some YouTube videos for like shoulder and neck stretches and they've actually seemed to do a pretty good job of sort of alleviating the pain. I'm now able to turn my head and don't seem to have any issues, but I do need to keep an eye on what triggers it. That does mean that for my pit for the week I haven't done any gym workouts whatsoever. I've sort of wanted to keep it easy in that respect, just to make sure that I don't do any more aggravation to that area, if you will. So I've completely stayed away from the weights. I have done a couple of runs which didn't seem to cause much of an issue for running or with the pain with my shoulder, so I've been able to do a couple of runs. But yeah, sadly no gym sessions this week, but hopefully I should be able to get back to it next week. I'm just going to keep it a bit lighter than usual. My second pit for the week has been that I have been dog tired this week. I've had a couple of issues with sleeping. Philip is waking up quite early in the mornings for work and he goes to bed a little earlier than me, and if I wake him up he seems to be awake for quite a few hours afterwards, and he's sort of keeping me awake during that time, so my sleep hours are getting a bit shorter, and sort of had to have that conversation with him and being like, no, you need to get out of your bad habits and let me have my sleep. So that has been a bit better towards the end of this week and I've not felt as tired. But on the days where I have been tired towards the beginning of the week, I've snacked quite a bit more than I would have previously in previous weeks. I'd sort of got into a good rhythm or schedule, if you will, where I was just having my meals and not having any snacks at all, really. And this week I've had quite a few snacks in between my meals. So whilst I've still been under my calories, I haven't been in as much of a deficit as I would have liked, so that might have slowed things down a bit, but we'll have to see when we get to the end of the month. So that has been my pits for the week. Thankfully they've resolved themselves towards the end of the week and shouldn't sort of go into next week, but yeah, they've just been things that have been bothering me this week. As for peaks for the week, my first peak for the week would be that I ran a 5k and I'm absolutely over the moon with that. For those that have been a long subscriber of my channel, you would have known the struggles that I've had with running recently, and with me restarting C2 5k and then stopping C2 5k because it wasn't working. I was doing my Jeffing at one point and nothing just seemed to be working. I just seemed to be stuck in this never-ending cycle of not being able to get like above 20 minutes running. And on, I think it was either Monday or Tuesday, I jumped on the treadmill. My aim was just to get above the 31 minutes that I ran last week that I mentioned in my last video, and I successfully managed to get above the 31 minutes, but at that point I was closer to 2 miles. So I was like, okay, well I've still got it in the tank, so I'm just going to go to 2 miles. By the time I got to 2 miles, I was closer to like 40 minutes or something like that. And basically it was just extra goals that I kept adding on all the time until I'd got to like 45 minutes and I'd got a 5k, and I am absolutely over the moon with it. I feel like I've made a really good breakthrough with running over the last 2 weeks. I don't know whether that might be a combination of me losing weight or whatever, or just sort of a shift in my mindset, like I've mentioned, that has enabled me sort of make that breakthrough with running. But I'm really proud of that. I know it's not a lot to some people, but to me, if you've been watching my journey with running for a while, you'll know that that's massive for me. So yeah, absolutely chuffed with that. The next breakthrough, which I was going to put as a pit, but actually I'm going to count it as a peak. I have been relying on the treadmill quite a lot recently for my runs. I haven't been doing any outside runs at all, and I have really got it stuck in my head. I know that this shouldn't be an issue, but it is, and I'm sort of trying to break out of that cycle, and that is that when I want to go for a run outside, I'm so worried about other people watching me or seeing me walk or being out of breath and things like that, that I really just don't want to run when there's people outside and it's really busy. So I've been trying to aim for it being really early in the morning, but I'm going to work at the moment, so it's hard to sort of fit it in the schedule. I can't remember when it was. I think it was Thursday or Friday. I decided that I was going to get out for a run. I just needed to do it. I didn't want to rely on the treadmill as much, and I wanted to test whether being able to get 45 minutes on a treadmill would then equate to what I would do outside, or whether it would be harder or easier. I wasn't sure. I went out for my run. I just sort of put it into the back of my mind that other people were watching. It wasn't that busy out anyway, and I think I only managed about 21 minutes. And at the time, I was really demotivated by the fact that I could only do 21 minutes when I'd done 45 minutes on the treadmill. But then when I sort of think about it more after I'd come back, I was like, well, you've got different inclines when you're outside. It was a bit hotter than it was the last time that I did my 5k, and just lots of contributing factors that might have played its part. And I just generally think that running outside is probably harder than it is on a treadmill. So I think my aim going forward is going to try and do every other run outside, just to sort of get used to being outside for one, and just to build up that endurance outside as well. So I'm going to see how that goes over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully I can, over time, build up like I am with the treadmill. I'm going to still keep those treadmill runs on there because I know that I can sort of get over that 30 minutes, which is what I've been wanting for a long time. But I'm going to try and every so often try and increase that distance outside. So yeah, whilst I thought it was a pit, I'm going to bring it into a peak and make it a positive. So that's that. What else have I got? I've tracked every single day this month. I know we're a couple of days off from the end of the month. I think we've got 2 days left. It's 29th today. So yeah, 2 days left. I plan on tracking those 2 days, so I'm going to count this in this video that I've tracked every day this month, regardless of whether I've been over calories. I think I've had 3 or 4 off days this month, and every single time I've been able to get back on it straight away the next day and just sort of put the off day to the back of my mind and just move on, which is something that I never would have done the previous months. So yeah, it's been a huge positive this month, and I don't know what it was that sort of made me make that change or whatever, but it's just been a really great month, and putting that as my top peak for this month, that it's gone really smoothly considering the state I was in for my monthly check-in last month. So yeah, really positive month as a whole. And my last peak being that even though I've had off days, like I had an off day yesterday, had a bit more calories than I expected, so I just classed that as like a planned off day sort of thing, and they aren't really bothering me that much now. Like, I'll have an off day and I'll just be straight back on it the next day. I've been on plan today. I don't plan on going over my calories today, so that is good. And yeah, just a total overhaul on my mindset as a whole this month, something that I know that I'm going to continue going forward. So yeah, we have check-in in a couple of days. I am slightly nervous about my check-in just because I think I've got it stuck in my head that every other month that I've had so far has been quite crap, And even though I've been on track all of this month and been doing all the things that I've wanted to do and everything has been really positive, I've just got this niggling feeling in the back of my mind that it's not going to go well. There is no reason whatsoever why I shouldn't have a good check-in in 2 days. It's just, it's old habits creeping back in with regards to sort of my mind telling me that it's not going to go well. So I'm going to try and have a positive next couple of days, and whatever happens, happens. You'll see in the check-in and we'll sort of evaluate what has been going on. I did weigh myself at the beginning of this month just to sort of keep track of how my weight was going this month. I'm going to weigh myself on the 1st when I do my check-in, just to see how things have been going with regards to that. It's not something that I plan on keeping going in the future because I know how much the number on the scale has bothered me. So yeah, it's just sort of an experiment just to see how things have been going with regards to staying on track pretty much all month and how that's going to have affected it. So yeah, I'll share the numbers with you on my monthly check-in, but other than that I don't think I have anything else to say. It has been a really good month and I'm really proud of myself for how things have gone this month. So yeah, it is just onwards and upwards from here. I think I've sort of got myself out of that lull now. So yeah, really positive month, really proud of myself, proud of the changes that I've made, so just got to keep that going. So I'm going to end the video here and say I hope you're all having a good weekend, whenever it is that you're watching this. Stay safe. Don't forget to like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You can always click the notification bell down below and you'll be notified of when my new videos go live. Other than that, I will see you again in my next video. Bye.